What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 Trade with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. Today is the 16th of January, 2025. It's a Thursday where I am in the thriving metropolis of Jinx, Oklahoma. So yeah, it's Thursday. It is the 16th of January. I would say this is how we trade Spire. This is how I traded Spire, but I didn't put on any trades today. Specifically because I was waiting for something late in the day. I was waiting for a really, really nice setup late in the day, at least midway through the day. So generally speaking, every single day, every day is a different trading day, right? No question about that. But the later you get into the trading day, and go back and look at this historically, there are more levels of support and resistance that we have to get through. There's no question about that. But at the same time, we generally get plays that the setups on the plays are generally better midday to late day in the trade day. And again, folks, if you don't believe me on that, because everybody says, oh, you got to trade the first hour or the last hour or whatever, everything else is garbage. Absolutely not. No way, no how. But I was waiting for a setup. And the price action, quite frankly, the price action wasn't what I was looking for today. But you will see a video here in just a few minutes. I think it's 6 or 7 minutes long. I was actually contemplating getting into a trade early this morning, and then I just said, you know what? I don't necessarily know if this price action, or I don't think this price action is up to my liking. So I didn't put on the trade. A couple of reasons for that could be 2 days ago we had PPI. So we had producer price index that came out, and we had one of those giant candles early in the morning. And then yesterday we had CPI, which is the consumer price index, and that is basically inflation data. So that came out yesterday. So we had these really, really big swings and really, really nice plays the last 2 days. So today, and again, I wasn't trying to bias myself at all. But at the same time, I was like, are we going to get anything? And I was looking for a very, very specific setup. So here's the setup I'm looking for, folks. Here's the setup. This is the only setup from now on that I'm going to take. I'm going to take a cross at a major level only. So if it's not a major level, I'm not playing it, period. What's the point? There's no point. Generally speaking, price tends to move around major levels. What's a major level? Well, you got pre-market high and pre-market low. Yes. You got 30-minute supply zones down, or 30-minute supply zones up top, which is, I look at 30-minute double tops. And then you've got 30-minute demand zones down low. So if one of those things doesn't happen and I get a cross at one of those levels, guess what? I'm not playing it. I'm going to leave it alone. Why? Well, number one, plays out of those areas are, from a quality standpoint, they're 10 times better from a quality standpoint than just taking random trades. Maybe it's a random, crosses are not random, but at the same time, I'm just not willing to take a trade unless it's at a major level. Now, here is the only provision to that. The provision is if I don't catch something directly out of a main demand zone for whatever reason, or a supply zone, and we're pushing down to another demand zone down low or a supply zone up top, or a specific level, pre-market high or pre-market low, and we get a pullback and then another cross to the upside or a cross to the downside. As long as that originating play came out of a major level, I'll take it. But if it didn't, nope, I'm going to leave it alone and wait for the setup that I'm looking for, folks. Again, it's all about waiting for your specific setup, and that's the best setup there is for the way I trade, folks. So it's 920 out of major levels and major levels only, and leave everything else alone. Are you going to miss some plays? Yeah, you will. Bottom line, you will miss some plays. But you know what? Who cares? We're just looking for high quality setups. We want A+ setups, folks. We don't want the B's and the C's and the D's. We want those A+ setups and A+ setups only. Now, are all those going to be profitable? No, they're just not. The reality is all those trades are not going to be profitable, and that's okay. That's okay. But just pull the trigger when we're supposed to. Let's go over the data that came out today. So we had, again, we had PPI 2 days ago. We had CPI yesterday. And today we had core retail sales month over month, which came in worse than expected by just a little bit. We had retail sales month over month, it came out just a little bit lower than expected. So the expectation on core retail sales was 0.5% increase. It was at 0.4, so a little bit less than expected. Retail sales month over month, expectation was 0.6% or greater, and it came in at 0.4. Now, unemployment claims, another one, and all three of these are red folder events. And red folder events, those generally move the market orange folder events. Sometimes they do yellow folder. I don't really care. Unemployment claims, the expectation was 210,000 new people filing for unemployment, and it came in at 217,000. Now, the market really didn't care about that too much, only because, I mean, you can see it right around here at 8:30 or so, and we printed this doji right in here. But other than that, not so much, folks. So not a big deal. Now, let's talk about what happened during the day. The trading day. We're going to go through that real quick. And then again, we got about a 6-minute video that talks about this area right in here, 6 or 7 minutes, where I'm looking for a play in here, but I got to the point and I said, you know what? I don't like the price action that's going on, so I'm not going to play it. And you're going to say, well, you know, you missed a good setup here. And again, I wasn't interested. That's okay. I was fine with that. And yesterday's high was coming out of that level. So yeah, is that a major level? Yeah, I use that more as a target more than anything. So we had this run back to the downside. And you can see what I'm talking about just from a not great price action. It ran down. We got this demand zone right down here. 591.7, 591.37. So right down here, folks. And I think we actually printed that later in the day. Maybe I would have to go back and look. But anyway, it pushed up a little bit, and you can see this garbage in here, you know. And you know, it's easy to look at it after the fact and go, you know, it's just not what I'm looking for, and it's not. You know, candles were either really big or really small. Not a whole lot of consistency in those candles. So again, it's just a lot of indecision. You know, it's just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Now, when it finally broke out of this little range, had a nice run to the upside. Now, as a matter of fact, a couple of our members were in this trade right here. He was in this trade right here, and he told me he was in calls, and I said, okay, I'll walk you through the calls as best as I can. I said, are you looking to get out at VWAP? And he said, yes, I'm looking to get out at VWAP. And I said, I tell you what, do me a favor. If we get a candle that, if we just wick up to VWAP and reject, take your trade off the table. If, on the other hand, we push up through VWAP, I want you to hold on to your trade. And he said, okay, fair enough. So we pushed up again. I don't remember where he was in, somewhere right down in here. But we pushed up. And again, we got through VWAP, and then it just ran all the way up to yesterday's high. And at yesterday's high, it's like, you know what, take that trade off the table there. Again, it was a really, really nice play to the upside. I think that was the cleanest move of the day. And again, I wasn't in it only because I said, you know what, I don't like the setups that are happening. And then we got a push to the downside, another push to the downside, again, down to known levels. And it pushed up, and it pushed down, it pushed up, and it pushed down. Decent plays, and I guess a nice little play right in here. And again, I had made the decision by this time, and I had to leave early in the day because I had to take my wife to a plastic surgeon. The last one after her reconstruction last week. I pushed down out of this level. There's no way of knowing when it's going to push down, but again, I'm still not a fan of the price action, even because of this dirty price action right here. Were there plays? Absolutely. If we look at it from a 5-minute standpoint, this is an ugly 5-minute chart, folks. This is ugly. I can hide everything, and this is just not good. It's just ugly 5-minute price action. We go back and look at price action from yesterday. Look at that. It's much more straightforward than it is in this kind of this garbled up whatever it is for the day, folks. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Higher time frame looks like this, folks. So again, this is a 30-minute run all the way down to the higher term POC down here, folks. Now, if we look at it from a 4-hour standpoint, I'm going to do this. Look at this. We bottomed out, and then it appears as though it's running back to the upside right now, and ultimately I'm still looking for about 599.51. Watch what we do off the 9. And again, we don't trade the 4-hour, but we use that higher time frame for kind of that trend confirmation that we're looking for, or an overall picture. But again, folks, that's how we did it today. And again, I didn't trade, but I never want these videos to be all about me and all about, well, I did this or I did that, right, or whatever, folks. I'm not interested in that. I am only interested in showing the power of the 920. Is it a profitable strategy? It's a very, very, very profitable strategy. When you combine the 920 with major levels, you've got a really, really, really strong strategy, folks. Seriously. But that's how we did it today, folks. So you guys already know the next part. If you like our videos, smash that like button, folks. Please do that. Smash the like button. Turn on your notifications. You know why. Leave us a comment. We always appreciate the comments. Share. Friends, neighbors, family, trading community, your next door neighbor, whoever, folks. Share. We would greatly appreciate that. Now, if you are interested in live daily trading, so believe it or not, folks, whether I'm in this trade or in a trade or not, I'm talking about these trades all day long. There's very, very little downtime. You know, I would say 95% of the time, maybe even a little bit greater, 95% of the time I'm on the mic, I'm talking about price action and what I'm looking for. So that's 7 hours every single day of talking about price action and what I'd be looking for, what I am looking for, or helping people through trades. Okay, so again, if you're interested in that, which why wouldn't you be? Head on over to our live trading Discord. It's called Trading Decoded. The link for that is down below. It's down below, folks. We're so confident that what we have to offer is really, really high quality, and we will help you be a better trader. We're going to give you that first week for free. No, it won't cost you anything other than your time. You have nothing to lose, folks. There's absolutely nothing to lose. Go check it out. Seriously, go check it out. And again, the link for that is down below. Now, if you are interested in the 920 crossover strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. The entire strategy is there for the world to see. Everything is there, folks. It's all there. 920trading.com. You don't need to spend a whole bunch of money on a strategy. It's there. Just spend a little bit of time over there. It's there. And you know what? If you have a question, send me an email. I'm happy to respond, folks. Send me an email. If you want to get on a phone call, we can probably do that too, and I'm not going to charge you anything to do that. Anyway, folks, 920trading.com. Sign up for that weekly newsletter that comes out every Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So go check it out, folks. Anyway, thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today, folks. We hope you had a good trading day today. But above all else, you guys know, I hope you followed your trading plan. The beauty is in the plan, folks. The beauty is absolutely 100% in the plan. Without a plan, you're just kind of throwing crap on the wall, guys. Don't do that. And then you're going to call it artwork. But everything has to be according to your plan, folks. This is a process type business. It's a process business that can turn into a results business, but the process must come first, folks. The process must come first. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Now, the market is closed on Monday. Look for a special treat coming out Monday. I'm doing an entire talk on the 920, trading psychology, and volume profile. So we're going to be looking at all of those things. And again, it's going to be a live interactive video that I do with the group. So anyway, folks, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Enjoy the next few minutes after this video ends. It's got about 6 or 7 minutes of video that I was doing when I was looking for a trade first thing this morning. But anyway, hope everybody has a great rest of the day. We're going to do it again real soon. So until then, folks, you guys know I will see you in the markets. Hey, guess what, folks? The video that I said I was going to show, I can't show it because the file is corrupted. And actually, it's not the file is corrupted. It's the green screen is just so totally messed up that it just absolutely takes away from the quality of the film. I will tell you, though, I'm going to go back to the open, and I'll kind of tell you what I was thinking. And again, it's after market close. We've already done, the meat of the video. So again, let's talk about what was going on here early this morning. Okay, so we had my thought process. Again, it was a nice double cross to the downside. It was a death cross. So it was a death cross to the downside. It was a 920 POC and VWAP all on the same at the same level. But what I had down here, I didn't have thin volume until we got the breach of, I think, 593.38 right in here. And it got right down to that level, and then it rejected out of that level. So I'm talking about these levels as we go on. So, I mean, we're 3, 4, 5 minutes in. And then what did we have on this candle right in here at about 9:35? So 9:35, we had a death cross down, a couple minutes into the day, and then we had a golden cross to the upside. But look at where it stopped, folks. Look at where it stopped. I was actually, during this time, I was contemplating calls out of this level, out of yesterday's high. Okay, I was just looking at that level, thinking, you know what? If we can push up, I knew I had some thin volume, and that thin volume was up above here at 594.18-ish or so. Let me see if I can pull up the 5 minute, and you can see that level. So let's find that level again. So that level is specifically, let's call it 18. So 94.18. Let's see what she looks like up here. 94.18. And there it is. You can see it. It's thin. And sometimes going on with my chart right now. I don't know what's going on. 94.18. You can see how it's really clear up in this area, thin volume, and the 30-minute kind of agreed with that level up there. To get through that level, thin volume. So I was contemplating it on this golden cross to the upside right at this level, but look what, it just didn't, I didn't get the cross. 3 or 4 more cents would have taken me into this trade, and it may have ended up to be a losing trade. But again, I was just looking for thin volume. I was thinking, okay, if we can get above this level, yesterday's high, get a close up there, then use that as support. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen, so I did not put on the trade. But again, that first 5, 6, 7 minutes, however long, probably right in here, started videoing. It just didn't happen, and it wasn't happening for me. Now, on this next push to the upside, I was looking at this candle, so at about 9:40, I was thinking, if it makes a move back to the upside, and then I thought, I don't know if I don't know, because again, folks, there's really, really super thin volume up above that level. But it wasn't setting up the way I really, really wanted it to set up. I would have liked a little pullback, and then a push back to the upside. So right around this time, I'd made the decision. It was like, you know what? I don't need to trade this, only because I don't like what the price action is doing. But anyway, folks, this is about 3 or 4 minutes into what was, I think, about 7 minutes long earlier today. So that's about all you're going to get from me. But I'm going to say it again, folks. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So until then, we will see you in the markets.